What if everything you've been told about intermittent fasting is technically correct, but practically useless? You set the alarm, you skip breakfast, you drink black coffee and push through the hunger. You count every fasting hour like it's currency, and yet weeks pass and the scale doesn't move. Your energy is flat. The mental clarity everyone promises never quite arrives. Here's the question nobody is asking you. What time is your body in when you eat? Not the clock on your wall, your biological clock. Because here's what the fasting world quietly ignores. Your body isn't a calculator, it's a clock. And if you're fasting at the wrong time, you're not fasting, you're just starving yourself in the dark. Today, we're going hour by hour inside your body to show you exactly when fat actually burns, when your cells clean themselves, and why when you eat matters more than how long you go without food. Stay until the end. The final section will likely change your entire approach to fasting. The invisible trap. Most people start fasting with a simple belief: eat less, burn more. Stop eating long enough, and fat disappears. So they skip breakfast, they push their first meal to noon, they white-knuckle of hunger with water and willpower, and they wait. But the weight doesn't move, the energy never comes, and the frustration quietly builds into a private question: is something wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you, but something is wrong with the explanation you've been given. Here's what's actually happening inside your body every time you eat. The moment food enters your system, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas immediately releases insulin. Insulin is not your enemy. Its job is critical. It unlocks your cells so glucose can enter and be used as fuel. But here's the catch. As long as insulin is elevated, your fat cells stay locked. Insulin sends a single clear message to your body: we have incoming energy. Do not touch the reserves, and your body obeys. Even if you're carrying tens of thousands of stored calories in body fat, you can't access a single one while insulin is running the show. Now here's where modern habits make this catastrophic. A high-carb meal, a milky morning coffee, an afternoon snack, a late dinner, each one resets the insulin clock. Your body gets stuck in what we can call processing mode, no longer getting energy from food, but still blocked from burning fat. This is the gray zone. This is where fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and hunger live, not because fasting is failing you, but because your body has never actually been given the chance to start burning. The switch your body is waiting for. After roughly 12 to 16 hours of uninterrupted fasting with no insulin spikes, something shifts. Your liver's short-term glucose stores run low. Your body faces a simple biological question: what burns next? The answer is fat, but only if insulin has dropped low enough to unlock it. When it does, fatty acids pour into the bloodstream and travel to the liver, which converts them into ketones, a clean, stable fuel that the brain runs exceptionally well on. This shift is called the metabolic switch, and it's the real beginning of what fasting is supposed to do. Here's something that surprises most people. Ketones don't cause brain fog, they eliminate it. Unlike glucose, which creates sharp spikes and crashes, ketones provide a smooth, steady current of energy. This is why some people describe a sudden sense of calm focus around the 14 to 16-hour mark, not hunger disappearing, but the brain finding a better fuel source. Simultaneously, growth hormone rises, the hormone that tells your body to mobilize fat while protecting muscle. This is evolution's insurance policy. Your ancestors couldn't afford to lose muscle when food was scarce, so the body developed a system to burn fat first and guard lean tissue. This is also why a properly structured 16-8 fasting window works for so many people. Not magic, biology. It's long enough to flip the metabolic switch, short enough not to stress the system beyond what it can sustain daily.
You might be thinking, okay, so I just need to fast longer. But here's the thing most fasting content will never tell you. Fasting longer at the wrong time of day is still the wrong strategy. The hour on the clock when you eat matters just as much as how many hours you skip. And the research on this is impossible to ignore. The clock inside your cells. Your body operates on a 24-hour circadian rhythm, a biological clock that controls hormones, digestion, body temperature, and critically, how efficiently you process food. Insulin sensitivity, your body's ability to handle glucose cleanly, is highest in the morning and gradually declines through the day. By evening, your body's ability to process the same meal can be up to 17% less efficient than it was at 8 a.m. Think about what that means. The same dinner eaten at 7 p.m. versus 9 p.m. produces a meaningfully different metabolic outcome. Eaten later, insulin has to work harder. Glucose lingers in the bloodstream longer. More energy gets stored as fat, and the recovery window, the time your body needs to drop insulin, repair cells, and enter fat-burning mode, gets compressed into a few short hours before your alarm goes off. This is why the most common fasting pattern, skip breakfast, eat a large dinner late at night, is almost perfectly designed to fail. On paper, you fasted. Biologically, your body spent the night processing food instead of repairing tissue. A landmark study by circadian rhythm researcher Sachin Panda showed this with striking clarity. Two groups of mice ate identical food, same calories, same composition. The only difference was timing. One group ate freely around the clock. The other ate within an 8 to 12-hour window. The time-restricted group was leaner and metabolically healthier, not because they ate less, but because their eating aligned with their biology. Human research confirmed this. In a 2018 study published in Cell Metabolism, men with prediabetes were divided into two groups eating identical meals. One group ate in an early window, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The other ate over a standard 12-hour period. After 5 weeks, the early eating group showed a 36% improvement in insulin sensitivity, reduced blood pressure, and lower oxidative stress. They didn't lose weight, but their metabolic health transformed. The lesson: your body improves before the scale moves, and that improvement is driven not by calories, but by timing. So which meals should you actually skip? The science here is consistent. If you had to remove one meal from your day, removing dinner or simply eating it earlier is biologically superior to skipping breakfast. Morning and midday are when your metabolic machinery runs at peak efficiency. Evening is when your body is designed to slow down, not process a large load of incoming energy. Eating late means eating against your own biology. Skipping breakfast but eating late dinner is the worst of both worlds. You fast during your peak metabolic window and eat during your weakest one. The fix doesn't have to be extreme. You don't need to eat your last meal at 4 p.m. Moving dinner from 9 p.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. gives your body 2 to 3 additional hours every evening to lower insulin, stabilize hormones, and activate deep cellular repair while you sleep. Those hours are more valuable than any extra fasting time you force by skipping breakfast. Sustainability matters too. For many people, skipping breakfast tanks focus, wrecks workouts, and creates an energy hole that affects the whole morning. Eating earlier in the evening causes far fewer disruptions to real life, and it actually works with your circadian rhythm instead of against it. Here's the truth that changes everything. Your body was never the problem. It has been trying to function correctly this entire time. It burns fat when given the right hormonal conditions. It repairs cells when given enough uninterrupted time. It processes energy efficiently when fed at the right biological moment. The missing piece was never more discipline. It was the clock. So instead of asking, how many hours should I fast, start asking, when does my body actually work best? Align your eating with that answer, and fasting stops feeling like punishment. It becomes a rhythm, something natural, something your body was built for all along. If this reframed how you see fasting, subscribe, because next we're going deeper into exactly what to eat inside your eating window to maximize everything you've just learned. That video is already waiting for you.